Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to a Q&A. My name is Matt. I'm not necessarily MGH today. Yes, my real name is Matt. I know a lot of people know that. Oh, and actually, because it's a Q&A, I might as well answer this, even though no one's asked this time. MGH is just my initials. So many people think it's like Matt Gaming HD or something. No, it's just my initials. But anyway, guys, I'm doing a Q&A today. It has been, I want to say, at least a year and a half, 2 years since I did a video like this where I'm just talking and answering questions. And now is a really good time for this because of just things going on. And I want to update you on where I'm going in life at the moment. 2024 is right around the corner. This has been a hell of a year. It's been the toughest year of my life, I would say, personal reasons wise. Let's just get straight into it. Actually, the first question was from a good friend of mine, Alex, if you're watching this. I really appreciate this question because I've obviously tweeted out asking for your questions, and a lot of them are football, Arsenal, gaming in general. And I guess maybe what I should have tweeted was, hey, look, I'm happy to answer your questions regarding gaming and football and Arsenal and stuff like that, but I wouldn't mind answering some other stuff, things that maybe you wanted to know about me. So I've got a few, but this was really quite touching. Like, just how are you? Alex, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I know you've had an equally tough year. Honestly, where do I start? I obviously will not be going into details and telling you guys absolutely everything, but 2023 has been probably the toughest year of my life. And I've had a few really tough years. You know, I remember in 2008, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. That was obviously extremely tough. That was months of getting used to that and adjusting my life to that. And for those of you who don't know, diabetes it's not uncommon. It's relatively rare, but a lot of people suffer with it. Mainly type 2, which is diet related, and it normally comes when you're older. Type 1, however, can just happen to anyone. It's super unlucky. And I happened to get it when I was 15, so I was still in school. It really messed my body up. That was a really tough year. In 2017, I had a lot of issues with family. My mum and dad split. I was really unwell for months. I had like a stomach issue, and it was just one of those hectic years. And I remember it very well because I struggled to put videos up for a while. And then this year, again, just personal reasons, which I don't want to go into, but this year has been so tough. Yet I'm here. I'm still here at the end of it. And, you know, I'm not trying to compare my issues with anyone else. Everyone goes through tough times. And I just want to say that if you're going through a tough time, it does get better. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And whilst, like for me, right at this very moment, I'm not quite there yet, but I know it is there. And I know I just need to just keep pushing. And I wish everyone all the best if you're going through tough times. But the honest answer to this question, Alex, is I'm not great. I'm not in the best place at the moment. And it's one of the unfortunate side effects of having this as a job, being on camera when you're not feeling yourself, when you're down. It's tough. It really is. And people just think I'm playing games and uploading it. And yeah, on the base of it, that is what it is. But to motivate yourself every single day, I've been doing this since 2010. It's tough. It's really tough. I couldn't tell you how nice it would be right now to just be, I guess, turning up at an office and just sitting there and filling in some spreadsheets and then going home at 5 o'clock and just switching off. The reality is I'm always having to be there and aware of what's going on with my YouTube channel and my socials, and it's a lot. It really is. And a lot of people will know of this. I get paid based off views and adverts and things like that, but I'm not on a salary. I have to perform to earn money. So if I'm having tough times like I am right now and I'm unable to produce videos and make videos, I'm not making my living. So it's incredibly difficult, but I'm better than I was a couple of days ago. It's really tough times, but life is like that. Life isn't easy. There's ups and downs. I am going to be okay. I'm struggling at the moment. And, you know, that's why I wanted to do this Q&A and explain that my videos won't be consistent at the moment. It's going to be a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. And just see how we go. But I'm okay. Okay. I don't want anyone worrying about me. I've got my family. I've got things in place. I'm good. Okay, it's just a difficult time. Let's try and move on to something a little bit more positive, kind of. Why did you remove your intro from your videos? Asks Roy. Well, there's two reasons. One reason was I had a massive copyright issue with the owner of the song. So back in the day on YouTube, and this is kind of the other reason, everyone had an intro. It was such a 2010 to 2015 thing where everyone had like a cool musical intro. It was often kind of like dubstep, and it was just the thing to do. And I had an agreement with the owner of the song, License to Chill. And then at some point, they kind of just disappeared, and I was getting hit with copyright issues. I was getting my videos demonetized, and obviously I just straight away stopped using it. And now I'm just scared to use it again, even though I'm pretty sure it would be okay. I do believe that I used it a couple of years ago and it went through fine, but it's just not worth it to me. I know it's iconic. I know my intro is just one of those things that if you've been here for a while, it hits you in the feels. It does that for me too, but I'm not going to use it and risk having every video that has it be demonetized. And potentially, if the owner of the song got really upset, he could strike it, and 3 strikes and my channel's gone. So that's why. The other reason kind of is I've grown out of that. I'm not 22 anymore. I don't need dubstep intros to my career mode videos. Okay? But mainly copyright. Right, next question from Matt. Nice name. What happened to your second channel? I think similar to the last question, really. I kind of grew out of doing Let's Plays. And for those of you who don't know, I have MGH Plays. It's my second channel that I haven't posted on for like 6-7 years. I used to do, The Last of Us, Far Cry, Forza. I used to do racing stuff. Like it was just kind of, I was playing games whilst not recording and making FIFA videos. And I thought, why not post those as well? And back then, I was into that. But right now, honestly, gaming isn't such a big hobby for me as it used to be. And if I am playing a game, it's to relax. It's to switch off. And I don't necessarily want to be turning it into a video, because no matter who you are, okay, if you're playing a game on your own and relaxing, you're someone. And then if you're recording it for an audience, you're someone else. You're putting on... Look, I'm myself in my videos, but for sure, I am thinking of things to say. I'm filling silence. I'm making sure I'm saying interesting things. And that just is tiring after a while. I've done this a long time. But never say never, okay? It might come back, especially with the new GTA next year. I say next year, but 2025, because we're almost in 2024 now, okay? Aiden says, what's your dream away day in the Champions League? See, the thing is, Arsenal have already had that. Dortmund away. I would love to go to the Signal Iduna Park. I would absolutely love an away day at Dortmund. If we get that game, who knows? Maybe I will end up going at some point. I don't see that happening soon, just because, the odds of it are quite low. And as I said, we've been there, we've done that, but I wasn't able to go that time, whatever. So that's the answer to the question, though. I would love a trip to Dortmund. And that's if the question is, where would I like to go? If I could physically go to an away game, it would be that. Maybe the Bernabeu. Obviously, going to a Real Madrid game would be incredible, or Barcelona when they're back at the new camp and those games. But honestly, yeah, the Dortmund away, the yellow wall, yes, please. Do you believe career mode will ever be able to compete with Football Manager? No, because they're very different games. Okay, the concept's the same. You're taking over a team, you're managing the team, but the reality is you've got a game that is detail-oriented. You are the manager, you're making decisions, you're controlling pretty much everything. And then you've got another game, in this case, career mode, FC24, where you're playing with the team. You're playing the game. If you choose to play, of course, a lot of people like to sim it. For me, that's why they're so different. You're either managing or you're playing, or playing and managing. For me, I will always prefer career mode because I'm definitely more of a visual guy. I prefer playing games. I want to have control of the team. And for me, they will always be very different games because of that. I like to imagine Football Manager, which, by the way, I really like. I love Football Manager. I don't put much time into it every year like most Football Manager players do. But I like to sink in a good 50, 100 hours a year, something like that. And I used to stream it a lot. But in reality, I do feel like I'm just kind of working and filling in spreadsheets. And it's just a different feel. I enjoy it, but there's something about playing with the team, making a signing, and then bombing down the right wing with this new winger you've bought. Like that's just different to me. So the answer is no, they will never compete because they're very different. But if for some reason they were to combine, oh, you've got some game on your hand there. Would love that. Dr. Chrome. Those of you who have been in my streams might recognize his name. When are the watch alongs coming back so I can spend all my money on super chats? Please don't do that. Watch alongs. Yeah, at the start of the season, I said I'd stream most of the big games. In reality, I knew that would be difficult because I can't commit to streaming every single game, every single big game. And the reality is quite often I'm enjoying the Arsenal match as a bit of a winding down moment. Oh, I say that they're stressful games sometimes. The Luton game recently, my God. But obviously, as soon as I'm finishing the Arsenal game, I'm straight into Operation Arsenal. I'm doing my review. Now, I do plan on doing watch-alongs. I don't know when they're going to come back, but definitely soon. And for sure, if we're in a final or if we're playing Man City and it's an absolute must-win towards the end of the season or whatever, then yes, of course I will. But in general, I can't do it as much as I wanted to. And being straight up and honest with you guys, I burnt out on streaming. I did it non-stop for about 3-4 years. And at one point I was contracted with Facebook. They wanted me doing an obscene amount of hours and it just killed my love for streaming. It isn't the same anymore for me. And I can point you to about 5, 6, 7 other creators that were doing it with me who feel the same. Streaming became a chore. It's no longer the same thing. But I will come back at some point, but please don't blow your money on me. Cole says, is YouTube your full-time job? Viewer since Shrewsbury, whatever FIFA that was, FIFA 13, I believe. Love the videos. I really appreciate that. And I know a lot of people ask this. And yes, it is my full-time job, but I don't like to call it a job. It's a hobby that pays. I started this in 2010 purely for fun. I didn't make any money for like 3 years. The good old days of machinima, when money started to come into YouTube and gaming. And I was able to convert my hobby into a full-time job. And yes, I earn a comfortable amount of money. I'm not rich. I'm not blowing 100 grand on a Lamborghini and a Ferrari anytime soon. But I have managed to get myself a house. It's mortgaged. Obviously, I haven't paid it off. I have got a Tesla. I bought myself a Model Y. I've treated myself to a really nice gaming setup. I've got a great computer. I've got a PS5. Like, yeah, I'm very lucky that I've been able to pay for these things via my YouTube thing. It is a job. I do earn my living from this, and obviously sponsorships, which you may have noticed. I basically stopped doing sponsorships. I will be on the lookout to get some more at some point, but I think it's worth pointing out that a lot of YouTubers just do whatever sponsorships they can get. I'm very careful with mine. I like to make sure that they're the right ones. I do have one coming up soon, which is with Emma, the sleep company. I'm using their products. Okay, Emma is very good. So little things like that I will definitely continue to do, but that is how I've made it a full-time job. I can't just live on YouTube income forever. I do need to do sponsorships. I do need to do other things. I've never done merch. I've never really done what would you call it, like a membership thing on Twitter. And I've done streaming and I've earned good money doing streaming. Facebook paid me very handsomely and that was great. That's gone now, but I have made it into a full-time job and I'm very privileged. There are a lot of positives, but honestly, there are a lot of negatives. And right now I'm feeling a lot of those negatives. The fact that I have such a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so when you're, I'm sure a lot of people will know, when you're feeling down, when you're depressed, anxious, whatever, the last thing you want to do is be putting yourself out there, especially when people can see you and see that you're not doing well. And I'm hoping I'm doing all right here. That is very difficult. And the fact that I'm not earning a salary, I don't have guaranteed money coming in unless I'm doing my stuff. So there are a lot of negatives, but I have a lot of free time. I'm my own boss. I started my own business because of this, and I get up when I want, I go to bed when I want, I post when I want, I work when I want, which is obviously incredible. And I do really appreciate that you guys have enabled me to do this. Gabrielle says, biggest regret in life. Damn. Oof. That's a really difficult one because honestly, I don't actually have too many regrets. Sometimes I do regret not putting more effort into college, but the reality is I started my YouTube channel halfway through college and a lot of my focus went into it, which at the time was risky. I wasn't earning money, like I said. But I could have done better at college. I passed all of my stuff. I've got some A levels because of it. I did media, graphic design, IT, business. But for example, like my media A level, I could have done so much better. My business A level, I definitely didn't work as hard as I could have. So maybe it's not the most exciting answer, but I probably should have focused more in college. I did 2 years. I did the 2 years. I did it minimally. I really struggled with school. I don't mean academically. You know, I'm not stupid, but I'm not incredibly smart. I did fine. I got 13 GCSEs, all C plus, but I really struggled with the classroom environment. I've always been a very anxious, stressed person. I found being in school very stressful. I'm not the most outgoing person, believe it or not, even though I'm on camera to thousands of people a day. But going into college, it felt very much like, just get this done, please, so I can go and get a job and move on. I'm sure a lot of people relate. You know, being in a classroom, I still have nightmares about it. I just found it so difficult. I don't really know why. Super anxious about being in a room with loads of other people and having to be there. I still have nightmares about having to do 5 days of school in a row, feeling unwell, and I have a massive phobia of illness. You know, I'm definitely a germaphobe, and that's still something I deal with today. It's much better, thankfully. But my biggest regret in life is how I let that get to me so much. I think I still struggle with anxiety and stress, and although it's better, I would very much like to be just immune to that. Just wake up every day and just be like, woo, what am I doing today? I'm 100% every day. I know that's impossible, but it gets boring worrying about things. Good question, though. Sammy says, do you still drive bikes, motorcycles? I still remember your vlogs. Yeah, I used to do bike vlogs. They're still on the channel, actually. I got myself a Ducati Hypermotard. It was my dream bike at the time. I slapped a GoPro on my helmet, put a mic inside, and I drove or rode around and talked about whatever I wanted to talk about. And the videos are honestly so good. I go back and watch them every now and again. The quality's awful. I wish I could redo those, but that was the technology at the time. And YouTube bitrate is improved and things like that. But no, I don't have a motorbike, and I'll tell you why. Not only did going out for no reason make no sense. Think about this, okay? I wasn't commuting anywhere. I don't work in an office or something. The only time I went out on my bike was either to record a vlog, or I was just going to my mum's, or I was, I think I popped out to like the odd shop or whatever on my bike if it was a nice day. But the thought of leathering up, getting all my gear on, making sure that the bike's fully charged, you have to make sure the battery's healthy. I was keeping it in the garage, nice and warm-ish. Otherwise, yeah, I looked after it a lot, and it just became a hassle more than anything. And it was great fun to drive or ride, sorry. But after an hour or so, I'm like, okay, I was going to sit at my desk and play some games now. But the real reason I sold my motorbike, one day I almost hit someone, and it would have been, oof. I still think about it today. I was riding perfectly safely, by the way. I'm not a dangerous rider. Of course, when a road was empty and I could see it was nice and straight, I'd have a bit of fun. I was speeding and going around country lanes and leaning, and yeah, okay, I did that. But otherwise, very safe. I drove it like a car. I rode it like a car, middle of the road most of the time, taking up as much space as I needed, clearly, you know, being safe. But there's this one, I'm able to see it. I can see the woman in the car. I'm still so angry at her. I was doing about 40. It was maybe maybe I was doing about 45. It was a 40-mile-an-hour road coming up to a junction, and she just pulled out. She didn't look at all, and it was clear in front of me and clear behind me. So I assumed, as you always would, I will clear this junction and then she will go. She looked left to see oncoming traffic that way and didn't catch me. She did not see me. And by the way, I wore pretty bright colours. My bike was red. It's a Ducati. It's red. I had the loudest exhaust. There's no way. I still can't understand it. I'm still angry, as you can tell. She pulled out and I swerved around and I missed her by like this. I pulled over and I asked her to pull over. I was absolutely fuming, but she obviously just drove off. I was shaking. Like, honestly, I was that close to T-boning a car at 40 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour. There's no doubt I would have been okay. I think I would have survived. I'm not saying I would have died, but for sure I would have broke something. I would have totaled my bike. And just thinking about that now, like if I was in hospital for, say, 6 months, if I broke my legs and arms and whatever, I would have probably lost my YouTube channel. And I remember getting home and explaining it to family and friends, and it was like, I'm going to sell my bike. It's not worth it. It genuinely isn't worth it. Now, it's different if you're commuting somewhere. Like if I had to be somewhere and biking was cheaper and more efficient, then fair enough. But that day, I was literally just going for a ride for fun, and I almost destroyed my career, ruined my bike, my prized possession. I still love that bike, and I've got pictures of it. And that woman, you know what? Maybe she was just listening to music and just had a lapse of concentration, but that is just all it takes. That lapse in concentration would have been disaster. I'm sure she felt awful, and that's why she drove off. I mean, if you see a 6'1" guy jumping off his bike, angry, waving you to pull over, you're probably going to drive off. And I'm not saying I'm an odd man, okay? But when I'm full leathered up, helmet, you don't know who I am. I could be some psycho, so I don't even blame her. And I was just absolutely livid. And it was the first time I got that close to having a proper accident. And at that speed, yeah, who knows what would have happened. Anyway, moving on. Last question. What's the best game you've been to live? I haven't been to, I would say, many games. I've been to maybe 10, 15 matches, Arsenal games. I wouldn't say it's the best one, but the most memorable one for me is the Chelsea 6-0. I went to Stamford Bridge. I actually sat in the Chelsea end because I had free tickets with my dad. He worked with Chelsea with his business at one point. So he got some free tickets. He was like, Matt, why don't you come up? 6-0. It was Arsene Wenger's 1000th game. They had that little touchline fight, him and Mourinho. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain handballed it on the line and the ref sent off Gibbs. I remember it so well. Eto'o scored. Oh, man. Not the best game, but definitely probably the most memorable. But last October, I was at the 3-2 win against Liverpool. That will always be right up there for me. That was some game. I think that's it. Oh, I'm tired now. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today about me. I'll do these every now and again. See you in another year and a half. But I really appreciate all the support, guys. And as I said, like whilst I'm struggling at the moment, I am okay. It just means my YouTube channel isn't absolute priority. I won't be posting every single day, I don't think, but I'll try my absolute best. I really appreciate all of your support over the last 13 years of me doing this. And I wish everyone all the best. And Christmas is around the corner, so make sure you get to spend time with your family and friends because they are the most important things on this planet. Hold them close. Say you love your mum. Say you love your dad. And enough soppiness. I will see you in the next video.